it is coming towards the end of the summer holiday film season. This is a time when distributors can offload some quite tricky films that they might not know where to place. Now, sometimes those films can be like Guy Ritchie's The Man from U.N.C.L.E. a couple of years ago, where it wasn't quite a conventional blockbuster, it wasn't quite a spy movie, it kind of felt in between a lot of different things and they don't know quite what to do with it. And I think, that I think is a great film. It just was a typical end of summer film, and it's a difficult one where we can actually know exactly who the audience is for it. So sometimes you get a bit of a hidden gem like that. Sometimes you get a film like The Hitman's Bodyguard. Now, this is directed by a guy called Patrick Hughes, who made a Western, a kind of a noir-tinged Western called Red Hill with Ryan Kwanson a number of years ago, which was very good. And then he made The Expendables 3, which really wasn't. And this is basically Midnight Run with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. And the thing about Midnight Run was it came as part of this trend of buddy movies, which was very, very much what Hollywood was doing at that time. But the trick with Midnight Run is that the two guys in it weren't really buddies at all. You had Robert De Niro trying to bring in Charles Grodin's character on this epic road trip, and they would just bicker all the way. The premise is very, very similar. Samuel L. Jackson is the hitman who has decisive evidence to be used in a war crimes tribunal against this Belarusian tyrant who's played by Gary Oldman, because, of course, it's played by Gary Oldman.
Why is
Who else
Gary
would it be
Oldman
played
in
by?
it?
Well, I mean, it's Gary Oldman doing the Gary Oldman villain role again. And Ryan Reynolds is the bodyguard who's charged with getting Samuel L. Jackson from Manchester, strangely, in one piece to The Hague, so he can deliver this this kind of killer blow of evidence before the end of the trial. Now, the hook for the comic tension between them is that you have Samuel L. Jackson as a guy who kills bad people for a living, and Ryan Reynolds is a guy who protects bad people for a living. So which one of those paths is the more honourable? Obviously, both totally disreputable, but one arguably more disreputable than the other. Also, Samuel L. Jackson's character is shown to have a heart of gold because his wife, who's played by Salma Hayek, and is even more foul-mouthed than he is currently locked up in prison, and they do share some little sweetheart moments on the phone, like this one in the clip.
Oh, baby, it's me. Oh. I just want to hear your voice.
There. You heard my voice.
How you doing? Made a shank yet?
What for?
It's prison, baby. You gotta protect yourself.
It's a Dutch prison, Darius. What are they gonna do, beat me with a clog?
Oh, you got a view at least?
Just a whole lot of horny Dutch buildings. There's one with a huge clock on it. Like, that's what I need right now.
Do they have the flowers you love? Irises? They come from there, right?
Tulips, Darius. What kind of a husband doesn't remember his wife's favorite flowers? You never remember anything. What's our anniversary?
Oh, dear.
So it's hard to really know where to start with this. Salma Hayek, the idea of Salma Hayek being this incredibly abrasive, foul-mouthed character, it's kind of theoretically, you can imagine a film in which that would be funny. The problem with Hitman's Bodyguard is it just flogs the joke to death within seconds and then returns to over and over and over again. So you have effectively Salma Hayek doing one thing repeatedly throughout the film. And that's basically what everyone's doing. Gary Oldman is doing the Gary Oldman villain role over and over and over again. Ryan Reynolds is basically playing Deadpool, motor-mouthing his way through every scene. He's this kind of, he was once had this AAA status as a bodyguard. He was one of the best bodyguards in the world. Then this job went wrong and he dropped down to the bottom of the tree again. And he's very, very anxious about this and very annoyed about it. And he returns to it again and again and again, constantly in this fast-talking, naggy Deadpool voice. Samuel L. Jackson, again, is just playing a standard issue Samuel L. Jackson character who swears a lot and kills people indiscriminately. There's a running joke that he swears so much, and there's a certain swear word which, obviously, I'm not going to use now, but he uses it so much that Ryan Reynolds complains that it stopped being funny. And that's actually true. That's what happens in the film, because it's just one piece of shtick that is rehearsed ad infinitum.
Well, even that clip you just played there, in terms of that kind of cultural stereotypes, it's like within, 10 seconds, it kind of Dutch, you'd mention clogs and tulips.
Yes, right, exactly. And actually, the setting of the film is very odd, because it begins in Manchester. There is then a detour to Coventry, of all places, where there's this enormous kind of gun battle in the city centre, where the Belarusian mob attack the convoy that's bringing Samuel L. Jackson to The Hague. Now, not that there's anything wrong with Coventry. There's no reason films shouldn't be set in Coventry, but if they are set in Coventry, you would expect there would be a reason for them. Maybe a production-related reason, tax breaks or something, I don't know. It's not actually real Coventry. They mocked up Coventry in London for some reason, just in order to have this scene set in Coventry. You know, there's no St Mary's Guildhall there, there's no West Orchard shopping centre. It's just a weird street, maybe there's a bistro on it or something. And there's a big gun battle, but it's Coventry anyway. So this part of the film takes place in Coventry. Then they move to Amsterdam, and there's a big chase through the canals with speedboats and things. And the thing is, once you've seen, in a summer where you've seen a film like Baby Driver, and to have seen car chases and gunplay just done so stylishly and done with such impeccable technique, to return to a film where people are just running around screaming, you know, loosing off bullets, you can't keep track of anything that's going on. You really, really feel, you know, it's not just bad, it's hard to take after you've enjoyed it being done so well by a director like Edgar Wright. Another crucial problem with it is the tone, and it kind of works at this nihilistic flippancy where absolutely nothing matters in the film. You know, people can be electrocuted, thrown through windows, and it's all fine. They are basically cartoon characters. Now, for a film to pull off that tone, it needs to work very, very hard, and it's something that Matthew Vaughn did really well in Kick-Ass. And also, to an extent, in Kingsman, although Kingsman pushed it so far, there's an argument which I will accept on a couple of points, that it doesn't actually quite pull it off. But there's the famous centrepiece fight scene in Kingsman where you have Colin Firth in the kind of lunatic Westboro Baptist Church style thing in the United States. And basically what the film is saying is we are going to load this scene in a way that makes what we are going to show you, and it's going to be horrendous, but we're going to load it in a way that makes it as acceptable as possible. So first of all, everyone in this scene is a bloodthirsty lunatic. Secondly, Colin Firth is under the control of some mind control device. Thirdly, he has to do it in order to survive, otherwise he'll be torn to pieces.
Yeah.
But even having excused it on all those levels, while you're watching it, the film still wants to make you wince and cringe at what you're seeing because it's just so visceral and unpleasant. Now, basically, without doing any of that clever build-up to that scene, that's what the Hitman's Bodyguard just kind of plunges into that horribleness from the start and returns to over and over and over again. It's not prepared to do the groundwork, and it can't justify where it goes with it. It's just really horrible, smirky, off-putty, ugh.